Hello, hey everyone, and welcome in to Melanin Gamers podcast. These are our bite-sized podcasts. It's your girl, Creatively Anzi, and I'm here with In the Dot.
What's up, guys?
Obsidian Fury.
What's going on, my people?
And OG Ataku.
Yay!
And it's your hostess with the mostest, Creatively Anzi, and this is Melanin Gamers. And today we are talking about esports. Now, we all know we're gamers here. We all know esports. But esports to the world is only now coming up. And something that's actually started last week, July the 3rd, is the first ever Esports World Cup with a 60 million prize pool. That is an eye-watering sum. Esports is also being included in the Olympics as well. So esports is finally getting the recognition it has always deserved. And so is this the way forward, or is this just a flash in the pan thing or a fad? I don't know. I hope not, obviously, as a gamer, but I want to pose a question to you guys about esports rise and the popularity of e-athletes. Obsidian Fury, if I can go to you.
When it comes to esports, it's kind of been first, gaming in general has always been kind of shunned upon when it comes to like, is this a career? Is this serious? Because I don't know really why. Well, I can hazard a guess why. It's because it's not seen as seriously because it's always seen as a leisure activity. So now, like several years down the line, where gaming has become more established, and then the COVID money has now flowed through, and people have now the COVID money may have went, but the attention that gaming has gotten hasn't left. And I know a lot of big event managers who are normally take their eyes to the Super Bowl, they take their eyes to the World Cup, then they realize that, oh, wait a minute, like this Dota tournament, this League of Legends tournament, it makes bank. Like people come out and show support and watch it. So it was inevitable for me that this was going to be something that we were going to entertain, especially when I don't want to be mean to the Olympics and to the the kind of organization it is. They've been bleeding money for some time now, especially if we take a look at FIFA, for example. So they needed this first injection of hype and anticipation, and gaming just fit the bill in that kind of regard. So I'm not surprised that a lot of these big organizations are now turning towards esports and finally recognizing it as a sport in and of itself. And for me personally, I'm really, really hyped for it, because when money like this comes in, what it normally does, it's great that the big names are now playing, but what's going to happen is all the smaller kind of subsidiaries, they're now going to get started making money. So all the smaller tournaments, they're going to be able to put on better tournaments, have cash prize pools, have tier systems. That's what's going in my head when I think of oh, finally we've got this World Cup kind of. Then we can have a tier system, we can have a tier 5, tier 4, tier 3, tier 1, all that kind of thing, and there can actually be some kind of semi structure, because previously esports used to bleed money like nobody's business. So because of how poorly it was managed and other things, but I think mainly because of how poorly it was managed. So I'm looking forward to it. But then there's also the other kind of issues surrounding the Riyadh, it being hosted in Saudi Arabia. So and I don't want to gloss that over. There is valid criticisms and talking points that need to be said about that. But I'm still happy that esports is finally getting that kind of recognition on the world stage that it deserves. But also, I'm not gonna lie, the trophy system is wild. That's gonna create law on law on law.
For those who don't know what you're talking about, please explain.
So I can't explain. I have to I don't know, maybe when we do this video and it's being edited, we're gonna have the trophy system, that video just playing on repeat through this entire podcast, because
it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of rules. Yeah, you see, you're about in the city, you see your opponent, you say, "Yo, what you got? I want your pendant, your key."
Yeah.
Challenge them to a battle, take their thing off them, send them home, and then once you got enough keys, you go on to the next round or whatever. And at the end of it, you can keep some of your opponent's keys. They're gonna melt them down for you, stick them in your trophy, put up a whole monument so that it's forever recorded in history.
It's straight anime, bro. It's I don't know what is next. Seeing that key system, and people are oh, it's gonna be a little bit toxic. I'm no. It's
we need it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
We need it.
Competition is good.
Yes.
Competition is good.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
put that fire in it. That's what we want to see. Competition is good like that. And people are like,
Yes.
oh, well, there's like, imagine having your opponents. I'm like, listen, if I lose, I lose. But you best believe if you take my key and you put it in your trophy, next year it's a fight. It's a
Mhm.
fight. I do not care. But like for me, I don't know whether I'm going to be like impressed that of all the keys you chose, of all the losers, you pick mine, or is it going to be like where it's like Vegeta, where it's like he recognizes your strength, but he still
Yeah.
like he absolutely like destroys you, or is it going to be like I want you to remember this year I beat you. This year, this 2024 was the day that I beat you, and you don't have to take my word for it. Look at my trophy. That's your
Mhm.
key. There's my key in the center. There's your key at the bottom.
Mm.
So I don't know, like how, like I don't know how you can be humble in that kind of environment where
Mhm.
you've got like your opponent's like keys in your trophy. So it's basically it's gonna be like there's gonna be this gonna generate memes. This is gonna generate clicks. This is gonna just generate like hype for this system. So
Mhm.
I'm
If
all
there ain't
for
one
it.
of them walking around with a Mr. T level chain of opponent,
Oh no, you best believe I would absolutely if I was in my prime, I would absolutely go for it. I'll be like, what you call it? Like a streaming setup, I'll have all the dead keys behind me. Like
Mhm.
I don't know who I'd pay, yeah, but I'll get it and I'll have all the keys behind me. Just to be like, listen, these are all the men that they can beat me, yeah. Look at them, they're right there, bro. You're not gonna be the one that's gonna beat me today. So it's crazy. Like it's a really good idea. Okay, from like a production standpoint, it's a very good idea, and it's really speaks to the audience of like the kind of competition that's going to be required for esports. So it was a good idea, and I saw like a couple comments about toxicity, and I'm like, if you guys are talking about toxicity, I don't think you guys actually understand when we're talking about toxicity and what it means. Like there is nothing wrong with competition. There is nothing wrong with with trash talking. It's when we've actually like made like very clear delineations about what trash talking is and then what like sexism and racism is. It's gonna go crazy and I'm looking forward to it. Does anybody else have anything?
Not you trying to host. Hello. I will
No.
be doing the history. In the dark, obviously, esports, us being part of the Esports Federation of Ghana and understanding the impact that esports has on countries that, in terms of the economy, or help with people with growing the economy and things like that. I think that this can only be good news in terms of the growth of esports, especially with people who can't always go for traditional careers because of socioeconomic factors. There's so many different things involved. And also marrying your passion with something that can also make you money, and how that will affect people in Ghana and as a result other West African countries. What is your take on this?
Okay. So from my side, being the Ghanaian view, esports itself has been struggling in Ghana, where you have arcade centers that open up barely hitting 4 years before they close down due to call it stigma, economic crisis, player base, keeping up with some of the games that come out because you need to buy for most of the multiple consoles. People realizing that, oh, I am actually wasting my time because I might be a good player, but then where am I taking this? I think it will really help because there are some companies who have franchises here in Ghana. Outside, they support esports. In Ghana, here they don't do anything. You have the likes of Sony, Mercedes, and the rest and likes of them. So this would actually be a wake up call for them to be like, oh, okay, maybe we can spare some few currencies just to see where this ends up. It would actually motivate certain people to also say, I might not be wasting my time. If I'm good, I could actually do something. This also opened, like Obsidian Fury was saying, tier list. We could start from different sections of the world and then the grand finale, like what they normally do, the Euros, the American Cups, and all these things. It could also happen. Knowing the Saudi Arabians, they are going to pump a lot of money into this, and they are going to try and make it worth everyone's while. I really do want this to go on and become a big success. I really do, because it's going to change a whole lot of things. There are people in Ghana, education standpoint, we don't have the best of educational system, but when it comes to certain activities, sports, gaming, and other things, people really excel in them. You'll be surprised going, and I really do miss the whole trash talking part. You would go to a local rundown arcade center and just have people screaming at each other like, I'm good, I'm the best, I beat you and all. It's I'm really looking forward to this. It will open a lot of doors. It would a whole lot of possibilities. Maybe we're not seeing. It could even be bigger than some of these traditional sports, So yeah, that's that's my take on this one.
That sounds amazing, and obviously I love the idea of it just growing and helping people and giving people opportunities, that they might not be able to have access to as well. That for me is the most important thing, the opportunities that it can grant people. Hopefully, we'll see, and it overtaking maybe even other sports as well. So I definitely am in agreement with you there, and I'm hoping that other countries also wake up and see this, and even Ghana itself hosting tournaments and putting money into this, because governments also need to invest money into their citizens in terms of the sports that they do, gaming, that sort of thing, to create good athletes. They don't just wake up and they're good.
It could actually create employment too. Whereas other countries tend to realize that, oh, there are Ghanaian streamers. It could create a lot of China and most of the Asian countries reduce their unemployment rate through streaming esports. So it could open a lot of possibilities.
Exactly. And all the other jobs surrounding these things, like a coach. Gaming centers will be opening up. People, streamers, hosts. There's so many other jobs surrounding marketing, so many jobs surrounding the production of these things as well. Go on, OJ Taka.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like most things, the gaming industry is new, and there's a lot of aspects of the gaming industry that people can get into that doesn't necessarily require you to be a coder or a game player. I feel like before, as in the dark said, there was kind of a stereotype of what are you doing with these games, like wasting time. But now there's so much you can do within the gaming industry. You could be an accountant within the gaming industry. You could be a marketer. There's so many different roles in there. Sports and esports now for people who are actually playing the games and want to be good and want to be competitive, and like any other sport, they go training. There's a team, there's schedules, there's even diets, like just to make sure they're at their peak performance to play these games on a level higher than the average player, like higher than the average PS5 owner, you know what I mean? It's a great opportunity. Like you said, there's coaches, there's a lot of other roles just within the esports part of the gaming industry. But for these competitors, it's a way out that they didn't have before. It's a way out that their parents didn't have.
Facts, facts.
It's a new job, and I know it's gonna take some time. uh, and there's going to be like a lot of parents and teachers that may say, obviously always get a good education that will help you no matter what, but to show that there are other things you can do with this passion and that you could take it all the way and like truly support yourself and your family, it's amazing that we live at this part of the world. I'm ecstatic for it. I'm ecstatic for the passion and the showmanship that is being put on for this World Cup tournament. Like, it's the first one and it should go down in history and be a miraculous event that people look at it and go, wow, we can do that. We could be there. It's meant to inspire the next gen. And I feel that's what's going to happen with this. Yeah, I just look forward to what other companies and other promoters will now do with their esports events after seeing like the level and the quality of what's happening right now.
Yeah, and so to add to that, Riot Games recently for League of Legends released the Hall of Fame, where they immortalized one of the greatest players in League of Legends, probably the greatest gamer ever, Faker. Got a customized skin worth $500. Yes,
Okay.
yes, worth $500, and I mean they're going to be doing it every year, every year. So
Okay.
Can anyone buy it for $500?
yeah, you can, and it's just for a limited time only, and it will never come out again once it's over.
$500? Who do you think
Yeah,
you are? Kelsey Clinton?
yeah.
Anyway,
Say that Fortnite put in their players or their streamers, content creators in the game for quite a while now. There's quite a lot of
Mhm.
content creators in Fortnite. It's just something you do to, represent and appreciate the people that love your product that much that they put it on their back and carry it.
From a business perspective, that could be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, it could. I mean, it received mixed reactions from people. It received a lot of mixed reactions from people. But I feel like the gesture itself is what I appreciate. The skin cost needs to be adjusted, but the gesture is itself, like, I mean, it's something, because Faker is one of the like all-time favorites in League of Legends when it comes to players. Win or lose, everyone likes this guy. Everyone just likes this guy.
I saw some of the games. League Legends is there. There's a couple of mobile games as well. I saw Mobile Legends, Bang Bang. But I saw Counter Strike, Call of Duty Warzone. Oh, so there's Call of Duty Warzone and there's Call of Duty like the multiplayer aspect, which is there's also Street Fighter, Tekken, Fortnite, StarCraft, EA Sports, FC 24, Rocket League, PUBG, Tekken. Did I say Tekken already? Honor of Kings, Apex. I think Apex is the most. Yeah, Apex looks like it's the most stacked, which I'm very proud of. Yeah, this is basically yeah. So people are like showing up and showing out for this. So
Yeah,
it's looking good.
it is. It is. The competition is really going to be stiff.
So yeah, it's going to be fun to watch.
Most definitely. And I think, of course, this can only mean good things. And I'm hoping that with more awareness comes more, regulations and policies, because right now it still feels like the Wild West, gaming in general, and people kind of just doing whatever that they want to do. Which
That's
is
a
why
wild
it's
statement. I want more bureaucracy. That's what
I'm hoping that with more awareness, that there's going to be more policies in place, that there's going to be more, I guess, student clubs happening in schools. Like, now that there's an after school activity for esports and that sort of thing, all of this comes with, esports is something that can actually be a real passion and after school activity. And now schools will start putting that's what I'm saying about policies. There's chess club, there's esports, there's, I don't know, swimming, there's basketball. It can be one of the things that you can choose as an after school activity now as well, that can be recognized, that funding can be put behind. That's what I mean by that. So I think that this can only be a good thing if there is more attention to it and there's more eyes on it. That means that there's more recognition. So especially when people say, I'm an esports athlete, oh my God, that's amazing, as opposed to you sit around and play games all day. That's the reaction we usually get. So I feel like this can only be a good thing if it is handled correctly. That's the point I was making. I know. I know that's right. So yeah, I think everyone is in a basic agreement there that we want more exposure for gaming and esports, but also it has to be in the right way. That's the only caveat I would probably add.
Now seeing where we're at in terms of esports leagues, teams, international competitions, what would be the next thing you would like to see happen or be included within esports? Or what would you like to see include esports? Like for myself, I would like them to start thinking about making VR games inclusive within esports, and for a VR game developer to start creating a game that could be used in esports, because I think once we get to that level, the physicality and the hand-eye coordination and brain skill processing that's going to be needed will be crazy. Yeah, those will be the superhumans. So that's something I would like to see included in esports, like get VR games out there.
I agree until they like iron out the motion sickness aspect of VR, because a lot of people still suffer from like motion sickness. But I think that's really cool. But as I'm saying this, I'm like, well, not everybody has like the arm span of Michael Phelps. So if you have motion sickness, then you can't compete. So I'm in two minds about that. But yeah, there are certain limitations that can bar entry to certain sports when it comes to like VR. So. But as for me, what I would like to see probably the most is like recognize an official tier system that really rewards players, and really create a strong foundation for esports, because it's always been like this kind of nebulous, I don't want to say nebulous thing because I don't know too much about it, but one thing I've always heard about different people complaining about when it comes to like when I'm talking to my younger brother and his teammates is like it's very hard to like not only make money but also like sustain yourself, like let players sustain themselves within this within that kind of esports environment. So
Like when the competition isn't happening, how are you funding yourself,
How are you
basically?
finding yourself
not just that, but
resources?
also like the smaller competitions, let there be like a £200 cash prize, or let there be like really, really small competitions, let there be like significant money. So it's like so even players who like may lose, they're still able to like say that, oh no, I'm still an esports athlete. But then again, I'm like in my head, I'm like, oh well, you're not the best, so therefore you won't get the big bucks. But I still want there to be like some kind of tier system, and so esports players can still sustain themselves at all tiers of play, rather than just it being at all concentrated at the very top.
Yeah, I definitely, I think, same here. I want to see, there's two things I want to see: more sponsors. Like let's see some, I don't know, Adidas and Nike ticks all over people's tops and stuff like that. Let's get some funding in these esports streets, for the bigger teams and the smaller teams as well. And not just that, but I also want to see, I don't know, like the way there's African Cup of Nations, there could be African Cup of Nations, but gaming. That would be amazing to see. I would love to see something like that. World Cup of gaming as well, different games competing for like a prize of the trophy. That would be, so I want to see different countries also involved. I feel like sometimes when they say the World Cup, they mean countries in the Asian continent, European continent, and America, and then that's kind of it. And then Africa just gets swept over. So, and also South America sometimes. So I want to see more countries, more representation when it comes to gaming, at the higher tier as well as the middle tier and the lower tiers, because I just still feel like there needs to just be a bit more presence and awareness there on a larger scale. So those are things I would love to see. Yeah, I think that's everything, guys. We're over time, but we always are. I will cut it down post editing. But it's been a really great discussion. Organizations, if you're listening, we need more esports funding and awareness. So yeah, there's that part of the story. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. I've been here with In the Dark,
Stay safe, guys.
OG Otaku,
Keep it OG, peeps.
and Obsidian Fury.
In a bit, MG Squad.
And it's been your hostess with the mostest, creatively Anzi, and this is the Melanin Gamers podcast. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys all later. Bye.